A new pack of rare gray wolves has shown up in California.
I've spent years searching for the biggest and the strongest wolves that have never been seen before, but nothing could have prepared me for this.
Wolfpack slaughters 19 elk in rare surplus killing.
Recently, experts might have just caught a near 200-pound Alaskan wolf, which could be the most massive one to ever live. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? Because the footage I've discovered reveals something much bigger. This may just be the largest wolf ever to get caught on camera. So, while I was spending hours upon hours on the internet searching for that big bad wolf, what I didn't know was that the largest wolf species can actually be found in North America. This is the gray wolf, also known as Canis lupus. What's insane is that these can usually weigh up to the size of a small to average-sized bear. But here's one thing you should know. This wolf isn't the same one you might have heard about in fairy tales. The larger wolves aren't just bigger, they're also much faster and stronger. This was the important part for me to find, because these wolves can run at speeds of up to 40 miles per hour for short distances. Like, watch how they manage to catch up to a car. The largest in America.
The moment that people start getting killed by wolves in America, people are going to get furious.
Right when I picked up this story, I figured out the easiest way to find these wolves that nobody has ever seen was to start right at home. America's one of the largest homes for gigantic predators like these, and the largest wolves live right here, hidden in the forests, mountains, and plains. These wolves are unlike any you've ever seen in movies or heard of from legends. They're not the typical creatures you imagine stalking the wilderness. No, these are the Mack trucks of the wolf world. Just look at this monstrous wolf with the muscle and power of a lion, yet the brains of a predator that can read the entire forest like a map. These wolves stay far from humans. Even in their home ranges, they rarely make their presence known unless they want you to know they're here. The search.
Literally tracked wolves and taken food away from them when they've killed caribou.
What?
Yeah.
So, I started digging deeper, thinking there must be a way to get closer to these beasts without spooking them. But finding them takes some planning.
How many wolves were there?
One time there was a lone wolf that got a caribou just ahead of me.
First, I found out that wolves are most active at dawn or dusk. That's when they're hunting or just out patrolling their territory. During the day, they stay hidden in thick forests or high up in the mountains where people don't go. So if you want to find them, you have to be in the right spot at the right time.
He didn't have time to do anything except gut it for me. Literally. That's what they start eating, is the guts. And he had opened up its belly and pulled the guts out, and the whole caribou was there.
Wow.
What happened that day?
But it's not enough to just be out there when it's the right time. You have to move quietly. Wolves can hear and smell humans from far away. If you make a lot of noise or leave your scent, they'll run off before you even know they were there. You have to be as silent as possible. Then I learned that wolves follow certain trails in the forest. If you can find these trails, you can follow them. But the deeper you go, the harder it gets. The wild gets dangerous real fast because wolves don't want to be found. The Mackenzie Valley wolf. The Mackenzie Valley wolf isn't just any wolf. It's one of the biggest, toughest, and most cold-resistant wolves out there. Thick fur, powerful legs, jaws that could make a moose rethink its life choices. But despite being born to survive, life in the wild is no walk in the park. Food is scarce, winters are brutal, and rivals are everywhere. And this elk is about to be their victim here. These wolves are not thinking about chasing her down. Instead, they strategize, cut off escape routes, and wear prey down over miles. For them, it's either hunt or go hungry. The Eurasian wolf. The Eurasian wolf is basically Europe and Asia's top dog. It's bigger than most of its American cousins, but not as massive as a Siberian tiger, so don't worry, it's not eating entire villages. Usually, this beast can weigh up to 175 pounds, with long legs built for distance and a bite strong enough to snap bone. It prowls forests, mountains, and icy plains from Spain to Siberia. But size alone doesn't guarantee survival. Deer are fast, wild boars fight back, and humans, well, we've got guns. The myth of the dire wolf. This prehistoric wolf lived in North and South America thousands of years ago. A typical dire wolf weighed around 150 to 200 pounds, with some of the biggest ones hitting almost 220 pounds. That's about the size of a really big Great Dane or a linebacker in the NFL. But unlike a Great Dane, it wasn't a lanky goofball. It was built like a tank, with a shorter, stockier frame and a massive skull designed for crushing bones. But then, the Ice Age ended, and things went south. Big prey like mammoths and giant sloths disappeared, which meant the dire wolf's food supply ran out. Meanwhile, smaller and faster wolves simply adapted and thrived. But the dire wolf, not so much. Soon, it was just another fossil in the ground. However, if you time-traveled back 10,000 years and saw one, you'd probably rethink your life choices. It was big, muscular, and definitely not the kind of dog you'd want to pet. Biggest wolves in captivity. The biggest wolves in captivity are absolute units. We're talking 200 plus pounds of muscle, fur, and pure wolf energy. That's heavier than most adult humans. However, the real question is, do they act differently from wild wolves? Take a look at Apache, nicknamed the Big Bad Wolf, who was found confined to a small concrete yard and displaying aggressive behavior toward anyone who came near him. At Lockwood Animal Rescue, Apache's life took a dramatic turn. The clip follows his gradual transformation from a wild, vicious predator to an almost gentle, affectionate companion. How wolves grow so large. Wolves don't start out as massive, bone-crushing predators. They begin as tiny, helpless pups, weighing about a pound at birth. But that doesn't last long. Within a few months, they start growing fast. Their diet is pure protein. Meat, and more meat. Deer, elk, bison, whatever they can take down. This high-protein, high-fat diet fuels insane muscle growth. Think of it as a natural wolf gym, except instead of lifting weights, they're chasing prey across miles of wilderness. Then there's their metabolism. Wolves have huge appetites because they burn a ton of energy running, hunting, and fighting for survival. A single wolf can eat up to 20 pounds of meat in one sitting. That's like a human eating 80 burgers in one meal. However, genetics play a role too. Wolves in colder climates, like Alaska or Siberia, grow bigger than their southern relatives. Their bodies adapt to harsh winters by packing on more muscle and thick fur. Soon, that tiny pup turns into a 150-pound powerhouse with powerful jaws, long legs, and the endurance to run for miles. What wolves eat to get that big? A single wolf can take down a deer, but for bigger prey, the pack works together like a well-coordinated hunting squad. The strategy is to chase it down, tire it out, then go in for the kill. Brutal, but effective. If big meals aren't an option, wolves will settle for rabbits, beavers, birds, even fish. Some packs even steal from other predators or scavenge leftovers from bears. Soon, all that protein turns into raw power. Make no mistake, they're big because they eat like nature's top-tier athletes. Wolves vs other predators. But if you take a moment to compare them to other large predators, you'll see just how impressive their size really is. In comparison, they're smaller than a full-grown lion, but they're still bigger than a lot of animals people don't think about as predators, like the coyote or bobcat. But let's look at a more direct comparison. Bears. A grizzly bear can weigh up to 600 pounds, far heavier than a wolf. But here's the catch. Wolves are quicker and more agile, using their speed and teamwork to bring down prey. They may not have the raw strength of a bear, but they have something else: brains and strategy. We can compare them to big cats like the cougar. A cougar might be more muscular, but wolves often hunt in packs, giving them the edge when it comes to overpowering large prey. Pack of dangerous giants. A pack of giant wolves isn't something you see every day. These wolves are larger than most and can move through the forests and mountains like shadows. Their size sets them apart, but it's their teamwork that makes them truly powerful. They travel in packs, sometimes more than 20 wolves at once. The size of each member can reach up to close to 150 pounds, making them far more intimidating than the average wolf. But here's the catch: their strength is not in brute force alone. It's in their ability to work together. The pack hunts as one. Each member has a role to play, and they don't let anything get in the way of the hunt. A single wolf may be fast and strong, but when a pack of giants moves as one, they become nearly unstoppable. Later you'll realize these wolves are more than just hunters. They protect each other, communicate silently, and know how to survive in even the harshest conditions. But there's something I figured out that you need to know. You won't see them unless you understand how to be quiet and patient. Wolves are elusive, and their packs are even harder to track. Biggest wolf tracks ever found. The biggest wolf tracks ever found are massive. I mean, we're talking about 13 inches long, almost as wide as a human hand. These giant tracks were discovered in Alaska, and they're believed to belong to an extremely large alpha male wolf. But why are they so big? Well, wolves tend to have larger tracks the bigger they are. So, I'm guessing this wolf weighed around 200 pounds, way bigger than the typical wolf. Then there's the claws. Normally, wolf tracks show clear claw marks, but with these giant tracks, you could see the claws more clearly, showing how strong and heavy the animal was. However, finding tracks like this is rare. Most wolves' tracks are about 4 to 5 inches in length, so when you find a set of tracks this huge, it's definitely a big deal. Soon, researchers started studying these massive tracks to understand more about such an enormous predator. While we're not sure if wolves like this are still out there, their tracks serve as a reminder of just how big and powerful wolves can get in the wild. The largest wolf skull ever discovered. A 40,000-year-old giant wolf head was pulled from the Siberian permafrost, and I can't get over how massive it is. It was found in 2018 by a local man near the Terrektiak River, and this thing is 16 inches long. That's basically the size of a bear's head. Imagine the full wolf. Then, here's the wild part. It's not just a skull. It still has fur, teeth, even a brain preserved inside. Frozen in time since the Pleistocene time, this is the first fully grown Ice Age wolf ever found with soft tissues intact. The leader. The alpha wolf of the Wapiti Lake Pack doesn't need to bark orders. Instead, he calls his pack with a silent howl, a low-frequency sound that humans can't hear. but his packmates can. It's basically a secret ringtone just for wolves. Then something incredible happens. One by one, the sleeping wolves snap awake, ears twitching. Within seconds, they're all on their feet, sprinting toward him like they just heard the dinner bell. But why does this work so well? Wolves have insanely good hearing, picking up sounds from miles away. Their communication isn't just loud howls, it's body language, scent marking, and even these silent calls. However, this isn't just a random roll call. The alpha might be signaling a hunt, a danger nearby, or just reminding everyone who's in charge. Soon, the pack is gathered, ready for whatever comes next. No words, no hesitation, just instinct. Friend or foe. This is probably the closest a guy has ever been to the wolves, but of course, that's not enough. He wants or trust, more connection, maybe even a VIP pass into the pack. Then, the real test begins. This dude stays absolutely still, doesn't make eye contact, because in the wolf world, that's basically challenging someone to a fight. The wolves watch, sniff, judge him silently. Soon, one gives him a sniff, probably checking if he smells like food. That's progress. Maybe. If they don't decide, he is food. The escape. The daughter wolf sneaks off with a big, scruffy outcast, and I already know the alpha pair is not going to be happy about this. See, in a wolf pack, the alpha couple controls everything, including who gets to have babies. More pups mean more mouths to feed, and that's not ideal when survival is already a daily struggle. But this young male, he doesn't care. He's been hanging around, trying to win over the daughter, and now he's making his move. Soon, the pack will notice. The parents will actively try to break this up, chasing him off, blocking her from leaving. However, young wolves are stubborn. If she's serious about him, she might leave the pack entirely to start a new one with her rogue boyfriend. That's how new wolf packs form. Bold young wolves running off to risk everything. The chase. A few baby rabbits aren't going to cut it. A growing pup needs real food, and an entire wolf pack? They need something bigger. But here's the issue. When you've got nothing else to hit, a hare is all you need. However, hares are insanely fast. We're talking 40 miles an hour level fast. That's basically a furry sports car with legs. Wolves don't waste energy chasing prey that can outrun them. Instead, they hunt as a unit, using teamwork to outsmart their dinner. One wolf might flush the hare out, another cuts off its escape, and the rest close in for the kill. But hares aren't dumb. They zigzag, jump, and pull off evasive maneuvers like tiny stunt drivers. So, if the pack messes up, that means no dinner, just wasted energy and a lot of frustration. The Ethiopian wolf. Isn't this a jackal? It looks like one, right? It even moves like a jackal. But would you be shocked if I told you that the Ethiopian wolf is actually more closely related to the gray wolf than to jackals? I know, surprising, right? But seriously, check out this video. It's like the wolf is gliding. The way it sneaks up on that little rat is pure poetry. It's crazy how this wolf, which is so much bigger than the rat, can get so close without being noticed. The most insane escape. Watching these wolves in action really shows how they can be big, bad bullies in the wild. Look at how they're toying with this poor dog. I'm sure that pup's pretty scared right now, but it's clear the wolves aren't trying to hurt him. They're just playing around. They do bite him a couple of times, but they're not going full force. Wolves have a strong, playful side, especially when they're in their own territory. However, the dog doesn't back down. Even though there are 3 massive wolves chasing him, He pulls off an amazing escape by hopping through a fence to safety. That was some quick thinking on his part. Wolves typically don't see dogs as serious threats. Wolf against man. The man in this video is standing tall, making a lot of noise. Honestly, he probably got lucky because that's not the smartest move around a wolf. Then he grabs a stick to defend himself, thinking that's going to do something. Not the best idea. Wolves are fast, strong, and have incredible jaws. A stick's not going to stop a wolf in attack mode. But what really blows my mind is that this is just one big wolf. If it were a pack, this guy would probably be in a lot more trouble. Wolves hunt in groups, and they're coordinated. A pack would have him outmatched in no time. So, what's the best advice if you ever find yourself face to face with a wolf? Simple. Stay calm. Don't run. Don't make yourself look weak. And for the love of everything, don't approach them. Wolves are born predators. Wolves in action. These two giant Canadian grey wolf brothers at the Wolf Conservation Centre are straight-up beasts. Seriously, if these two were in the wild, they'd be like the Batman and Robin of the wolf world. Except instead of saving the city, they're probably tearing apart anything in their path. I mean, just picture them hunting bison together, like a well-oiled machine. But despite all their killing power, wolves are still somehow majestic. Like, I get it. They're cold-blooded killers, but they've got that cool factor. They stalk their prey like professionals. Now, let's talk about their fur for a second. One wolf's got that classic grey look, and the other is rocking a more reddish hue. It's like they're ready for a fashion show, but also, this could help them blend into different environments. Meet Storm. This is Storm, and let me tell you, this wolf is a total beast. Researchers have followed him for years to see how wolves really behave in the wild, and the stuff they learned is straight up wild. Honestly, I never thought wolves could swim. I mean, they're built for running, right? But guess what? A hungry wolf with an empty stomach turns into a killing machine, and Storm's got the moves to prove it. Watch as he crosses the stream without breaking a sweat, closing in on the buffalo herd. The calves are slow, and Storm knows it. Soon enough, he's secured himself a meal. Now, before you start yelling at the buffalo for ditching the calf, hold up. The calf was already injured. The mother had no choice but to leave it behind. In the wild, it was only a matter of time before the calf would have died. The wolf just helped speed up the process. Nature's cruel, but it's efficient. The runner. People think Huskies are just domesticated wolves, but that's a big mistake. They're actually completely different animals with no shared species or genes. Huskies are domesticated sled dogs, while wolves are wild hunters. But here's the crazy part. Grey wolves look so much like Huskies. It's wild how similar they are, especially when you see them side by side. Imagine driving down the road and seeing a wolf that looks like a husky. You might think it's a lost dog, right? Now I've got to wonder, could the wolf have been using a clever tactic? Was it playing the long game, acting like a dog to get the driver to stop? Wolves are smart hunters, and they know how to use their surroundings. The big hunter. I know what you're thinking right now. What's this wolf doing? It can't even catch a baby pronghorn. But don't be fooled. This wolf's playing the long game. It's not about chasing down the calf. It's about wearing it out until it can barely move. You see, wolves don't always just charge straight in. They're smart. If that wolf really wanted to kill the pronghorn, it could have done it quickly. Wolves are fast and powerful, but they prefer to exhaust their prey first. That's how they ensure an easy, low-effort meal, the stop. This had to be one of the most wild traffic stops ever. Imagine being that cop, just doing your job, when suddenly a pack of huge wolves comes charging straight at you. Yeah, that's a nightmare. The fact that the officer jumped into his car so quickly, definitely the right move. Wolves are fast and they're unpredictable. They can run up to 40 miles per hour, and they're extremely coordinated in groups. Let me know in the comments below if you think a pack of 200-pound wolves can take on an average-sized bear. Subscribe for more interesting videos in the future.